2nd of September 1945, Ho Chi Minh, leader of the Indochina Communist Party and effective leader of the revolt against the Japanese invaders, declared Vietnamese independence in Saigon. Although this ceremony was witnessed by several U.S. Office of Strategic Services, OSS, agents sent to coordinate opposition to the Japanese, the French were quick to reclaim their former grip on their colonies in Indochina. Within a month of Ho's proclamation, they had initiated a military campaign against the Viet Minh, with the primary intention of re-establishing their influence in the country. From the start of 1946 until the outbreak of the First Indochina War in December 1946, both sides demonstrated a willingness to negotiate, while pursuing low-level military action against the other. By the 6th of March 1946, a preliminary agreement had been reached recognizing the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, DRV, as a free state within the French Union, with referendums over the future of the provinces of Cochinchina, Annam, and Tonkin to follow. Unfortunately, neither French officials in Vietnam nor Ho's supporters were satisfied with the agreement, and both groups seemed content to see the situation drift towards civil war. The trigger for war came in late November 1946, when the French commander in Indochina, General Jean-Étienne Valois, authorized the bombardment of the Vietnamese settlement in Haiphong, resulting in approximately 6,000 Vietnamese fatalities. On the 19th of December, French forces in Hanoi demanded that the occupants of the city surrender their weapons. Authorized to do so by the party leadership, General Giap, Minister of the Interior in the DRV, refused and declared the start of a war of resistance against the French colonialists. In response to the overwhelming advantage held by the French in terms of weaponry and manpower, the Viet Minh fled to the countryside. Their determination and willingness to absorb huge casualties shocked the French forces, who expected an easy victory. Ho's adoption of a guerrilla hit-and-run strategy proved effective in the early stages of the war in denying the countryside to the French, which in turn provided a greater opportunity for Ho to wage a political war targeted at the Vietnamese peasantry. For the U.S., this situation presented a dilemma. The classic Wilsonian liberalism, which had underpinned the U.S. approach to both world wars, was resolutely anti-colonialist. Indeed, the copy of the Declaration of Independence, quoted extensively in Ho's declaration of the Republic of Vietnam in September 1945, was actually provided by U.S. agents. Ho appealed to this strand of liberalism in the months after the end of the war, sending a series of messages to Washington asking for help. None of these were replied to. The wider context of the Cold War in Europe and Asia, along with suspicions over Ho's ideological leanings, persuaded both President Truman and Eisenhower that they should not accede to his requests for support. The U.S. did not want to antagonize the French, especially after the creation of NATO in 1949 and the ongoing concern over Germany's future. Furthermore, the fear of the spread of communism into Asia from China, communist since 1949, and the start of the Korean War in June 1950, forced the hand of the U.S. Many in Washington were highly skeptical about Ho's claims to be a mere nationalist. Indeed, the prevailing view was that nationalism proved to be a convenient fig leaf for all communists to hide behind in their battles against Western colonial rulers. Once the imperialists had been removed, so the true colours of the guerrillas would appear. In a telegram dated the 20th of May 1949 to the U.S. consulate in Hanoi, U.S. Secretary of State Dean Acheson summed up this position perfectly, stating, "All Stalinists in colonial areas are nationalists." In an attempt to counter the Viet Minh's appeal to Vietnamese nationalists and to solidify U.S. support, the French introduced a new government in March 1949. It was headed by former Emperor Bao Dai and had the power to manage its own foreign affairs and establish a Vietnamese army. While the Emperor proved to be an unconvincing advertisement for third force politics in Indochina, the outbreak of the Korean War had a significant impact on U.S.